Hello everyone, this is Ep44 and welcome to episode 44 of Ep20's Modern Skyblock 3 series. Wah, wah, wah. Today, I've got exciting things happening. We completed Ember's last episode, so that means that this episode is either going to be Thermal Machinery or Industrial Revolution, whichever one we want. Sweet. We get to claim 2 progression quests from that, and we still have the space one that we haven't claimed yet, because that's me saying, let's wait until we get around to it. So that unlocks 2 quest lines for us. Dudes. So that means Industrial Revolution is a thing. So like we start with latex and trees and progress through plastic and make a couple things like a mining laser and a stonework factory and a refining sludge for an automated farm. That sounds cool. So we can automate trees and plants and stuff a lot better because, you know, that's one of the highlights of Industrial Revolution is the ability to make that cool stuff. Like all the farms and everything, really good for automating plants and animals. And then we also got ourselves thermal machinery, which is sweet. So we have access to some of the thermal machines, and eventually you want a better coke oven. That's what you want from the end of the quest line there. And then you also have some devices. It doesn't look like any of those are required to progress, though. But you do want me to get up to refined oil. That doesn't seem too bad. Thermal bait. That sounds cool. Is that... okay, I'm guessing that's fishing related. So not a huge amount of quests required in either of those. And as a reminder, our current plan is to get down to digital storage. That's my goal, right? So we need thermal enhancements and ender machinery in order to do this. In order to get thermal enhancements, we need both Industrial Revolution and thermal machinery, and ender requires thermal machinery. So let's do this. Let's do thermal machinery so that we can unlock ender machinery sooner than later. And then we'll jump into thermal revolution. Alright, that gets me flight though. But I need both to get me flight. Right? So if I did this one, I unlock this and half of this. And then when I do this one, it'll unlock the rest of this. And then I can do this one and this one, like these two, to unlock this guy. So yeah, let's do thermal machinery then, and that'll at least get me into ender machinery. So that sounds cool. So thermal machinery it is. And besides, we know thermal expansion. We know that mod. We know that pretty well, don't we? At thermal. Booyah! It's thermal expansion time. That's what's up. So we're going to need some tin. We are going to need some iron. We're going to need probably some silver eventually. Gold, copper, tin, probably a healthy amount of redstone. I am going to get more copper. If you paid attention to JEI at the start of the episode, you saw copper alchemical ore dust. I made a little bit. And we've got a little bit more in here somewhere. Yeah, a few more in there, so that's cool. I don't have to make any more for a bit. So let's get like the basics of thermal foundation or thermal machinery, I guess, up and running. So to get this guy cooking, we're gonna need a machine frame. That shouldn't be too big of a deal. So machine frames, let's get like 9 of them because we know we're gonna want a bunch of these guys, right? Boom, boom, and done. That's what's up. Bunch of machine frames because we know we're gonna want a lot. It is nice to be playing with a mod that I am a little bit more familiar with once again, because Embers I did not know as well. Cool mod, but just didn't know it, right? Like, so it's a little difficult sometimes to like learn on camera, which part of my purposes of this pack was learning new mods. So I wanted to make sure that, you know, you guys got to experience me learning new mods, which meant, you know, me playing with mods that I haven't played with before and not learning them ahead of time. So I'm kind of intentionally doing that. So you want all these machines now. Sweet. So a better coke oven is immediately available, right? We just need the augment for pyrolytic conversion. So pyrolytic conversion doesn't look, it needs an invar gear, right? So let's get the suite of thermal machines, right? Because I'm going to assume that most of these are required, right? So if we just look at like the standard thermal machines that you're going to want, right? Redstone furnace, right? We're going to need some clay. Let's get, you know, a few copper gears. I know for a fact we're going to want a few of these. We should, I know we have like a little bit of clay, but let's get... let's get that cooked into clay real quick. And that should be an easy peasy lemon squeezy kind of setup. 8's a good start for that. And maybe we should even get a crescent doohickey real quick, just so we can have the wrench. Yeah. Cool. And you cook into bricks for me. Yeah, sure. Make them all bricks. And the excess clay can come chill with me while you're cooking. Sweet. So we're going to want 2 of you guys and this thing. Cool. And I'm guessing that's a quest. Somewhere along the lines. At the very least, it's a redstone furnace there. Thermal machinery. So, induction smelter. All right. Well, we have to do them all anyway. So I definitely want a pulverizer. So that's going to include you and 2 flint. And that gets me a pulverizer. So the whole suite of thermal machines, right? Sawmill, I don't know, unless you really want me to make one. I don't usually make a sawmill. So we'll hold off on that. Induction smelter we're definitely going to want, but we need Invar for that. So let's make ourselves... Do I have Invar hanging around? I used it in the past. I might have left it in here. Nickel I have. So let's get 1 nickel and 2 tin. Or 2 iron. Oh, you need power. Hey, you know what? Let's use our new thermal machines. Where should I put the thermal machinery setup? Should I, like, keep it over here? So if I was going to add it to, like, this line, right next to my sweet elite smelting factory, that would mean moving my bed. Which is, you know, not the end of the world. Totally a thing I could do. Let's stick our bed over here. We'll sleep right next to another portal. That sounds like a good place. New spawn point has been set. Cool. And then what we can do is, provided I have an axe... something like this. And can I? I can. Sweet. Okay. Who else is looking forward to Direwolf having flight besides Direwolf? Hopefully everyone. Because that will make my life a little bit easier with the whole basement scenario. And yes, I know all about. There's a flight option available to me right now, and I'm gonna get yelled at in the comments about having not taken advantage of it yet. But soon. Hashtag soon. All right, you're gonna need another power line though. Where are you at? Where are you at? Where are you at? Advanced universal cables. Bing. Perfect. Cool. So that means that my redstone furnace and my pulverizer are available, which means that I can then throw nickel in there and 2 iron. And I can either use the redstone furnace or this guy to make my iron nickel mixture, which is Invar, technically. Let's set you to no outputs and no outputs, just so we don't have any accidental sharing. And then that should make it so I can make an induction smelter. Hooray! Which is the next line. Beautiful. And then I don't have to mess with, you know, mixing, right? Now I can just do 2 nickel and 4 iron and induction smelt it. Sweet. And this can go away. All right, cool. So with that taken care of, we're also going to want magma crucible, which needs an electrum. And a couple nether bricks. Smelt it up. Super quick. And that gets you a magma crucible. Once I turn that into that. And maybe I was a little bit overzealous with the amount of redstone that I needed. Hooray! A magma crucible was a quest. Fluid transposer. Oh, I'm out of copper gears already. Cool. I'm out of iron. Fluid transposer, definitely another one for the list of things we need. And you will be, yes, accepting from the left side with the magma crucible outputting to the right. Sweet. All right, cool. So that was a bunch of quests we just knocked out, right? And by a bunch, I mean 2. But it gets the job done, right? So, so we've got the standard suite of machines, right? What else did you want? Master Smelting, Induction Smelter Basic. I made one of those, and it's right here. Thank you. What else did you want? Infusing with power. You wanted an energetic infuser. I don't know if I need one of those. Centrifugal separator. I don't know if I need one of those right now. And arcane ensorcellator. I don't necessarily need one of those. Though it might be nice to have. That would be kind of cool. If we wanted to enchant stuff. Which I'm not sure I need to do yet. But maybe we'll come back to him. You need thermal fertilizers to grow with power. Okay. The Better Coke Oven needs the pyrolytic augment guy. So that's going to need an Invar gear. That's going to need 2 copper plates, which I should be able to pull off by getting this and 2 copper. And technically we don't need this much copper on me right now. And one of these dudes and another bit of redstone. So let's get 3 blaze. Cool. And technically I only need half of you to smelt. But if I need more later, I'll get it. So this makes having this guy kind of worthwhile. But in order for him to work, we're going to need an upgrade. A thermal... The Invar tier upgrade guy to the machine upgrade. What's it called? What's it called? I will remember this device at some point soon here in the near future. Here's all your things. Where's the upgrade bit? Where is that upgrade bit? I know there is one. It's basically an Invar tier. Conversion? Huh. You don't suppose it's gated behind something, do you? Because we can't augment until we upgrade it. Let me look through JI again for a minute. I'll be right back. Thermal Enhancements category does have the upgrade kits. I knew it was called upgrade or conversion or something like that. And as soon as I didn't see them, I suspected it might be in Thermal Enhancements, and it is. So that's interesting, is that the Thermal Machinery questline has you make a pyrolytic conversion augment, but to my knowledge, it requires at least the Invar tier, or like the tier 2 upgrade kit, right? And we don't have upgrade kits available to us right now. So that said, I feel like we're gonna have to wait until we get to that chapter to use that. But that's okay, because we completed this section of the resources. So that's cool. So we've got the basics of thermal, right? And I don't need to do all the thermal quests. Realistically, refined oil, like, we can knock that out now. And Inderium's a thing, Lumium's a thing, Signalum's a thing. So Inderium. I mean, I'm loving what I got going on there, right? But Inderium casings, 680 efficiency, huh? That's cool. An Inderium condenser, 800 speed and 680 okay, cool. Refresh my memory on what I have over here. I think I have the Endstone condenser, right? So just out of curiosity, comparing Endstone 660 and 660 to 800 and 680. So Inderium condenser is definitely better. And then in terms of casings, I want to say that's an osmium casing, right? So osmium casing has 130 efficiency. This is 680 efficiency. So if I made this an Enderium casing and an Enderium condenser, this thing would be way more efficient. The question thereby would be, do I need to? Like, it's already like crazy efficient. So for like for the hilarity factor of it, look at you! I bounced you into water and you didn't even care. Enderman, please. So like, maybe not right now, but like as a back of my mind, oh right, that's a thing I can do. That might be a thing that I work on at some point. So we'll keep that in the back of our mind for now. Ding, ding, ding. You can go in there. Dimlet stuff. I'll get to you when I get to you, Dimlets. I'm assuming that that is not something I have access to use right now. Right? So that said, refined oil. You need a fractioning still. Okay, I can do that, right? I think I need a few fractioning stills, if I'm not mistaken. You need Constantin and nickel. Don't I have nickel on me? I thought I had nickel on me. Well, I do now. And Constantin needs what? In induction smelter, it is copper and nickel. Is it 1-to-1? I wasn't paying attention. Nickel and copper. Looks like it. Okay. Sweet. So we're going to need 8 of these bad boys. At least for the first fractioning still. And there you go. Fractioning still is good to go. So you guys can all clear out. And then I'm guessing you want a bucket of naphtha and a bucket of refined fuel. Okay. So naphtha is oil in a fractioning still. And it comes in without any reflux column or anything. 200 becomes 150. So I'm going to basically want 2 buckets of oil. So let's go snag some from over here, right? 1, 2. And we should have lots of oil, so we should be cool with this, right? So our fractioning still should relatively quickly, and I mean relatively quickly, not that quickly. Remember, no upgrades available yet. And that'll get me naphtha, and then refined fuel, I think, comes from naphtha. And you basically wind up with half of it. So let's do this. You know what? Let's use the refined. I mean, I said I was going to use mostly mechanism tools, didn't I? For item fluid and whatnot. So pressurized tubes, logistical transporters. I don't have any more mechanical pipes. So let's get a little bit of steel. Cool. So you're cool. So what I'm going to do is make it so that the top is an output and the back is an input. Ta-da! That absolutely should have worked. Why would you not want to work? That would have been cool if it had worked, right? Except it didn't. Oh, hey, it's going now. I don't know why, but all of a sudden it started to behave. Sweet. So you know what I should do then? Is get a tank to collect this stuff. And disable your input on that back end. Cool. For some reason it just like derped and then started working. So it's good now. So we're getting sulfur out of this, which is exciting. And in theory, we should get 1 bucket's worth of refined fuel, because it basically is 2 buckets of oil to 1 bucket of refined fuel. But then if you do that augment, it's like way better. So maybe at some point later on when we need more RF, we will look into doing a refined fuel setup for the purposes of actually supplying power to the base. And maybe with advanced generators if it lets us. So like a derp, I did not actually make a bucket's worth of naphtha, did I? Nope. Because why would I do that? Because Direwolf's a genius, that's why. So let's get 2 more buckets of oil. And get the other tank there. And I could have just picked up the naphtha and then I would have been good, but I'm a derp, so I didn't. So let's get ourselves... I mean, I do have another one of these anyway, so it's all good, right? So you are 1 bucket of refined fuel, and you are, you know, 100, you know, a little less than a bucket's worth. So that's cool. So if I were to, in fluids mode, yeah, I'll just let you finish processing. How's that sound? That sounds like a smart move, right? So if I take this bucket out, then it'll start splitting, and I'll have to deal with extracting and all this other nonsense. So what I'm going to do is get the bucket of that. Make sure the quest is happy. Come on, detect my bucket of naphtha. Detect my bucket of naphtha. Maybe you need the actual bucket of refined fuel at the same time. Hey, there we go. All right, for whatever reason, it needed them both at the same time. But done and done. That's what's up. Wrench, please. Thank you. For now, I'll just leave this here. But that marks the quest complete. Nice. Which we can claim the loot chest on, and now we're golden. So what else is needed for this dude? I think that's it. Right? Industrial Revolution is needed, and actually Additions Fanting. Collecting XP is needed from Thermal. Okay. Thermal machinery, collecting XP. Oh, that is one of those. Okay, requires devices. All right, well, let's do that real quick. So, the Insightful Condenser. I'm pretty sure that's the one that collects XP. Yeah. So you need a Tome of Knowledge, which is a book, 2 emeralds, and 2 lapis. Hey, remember this thing from a long time ago? He's doing a great job. Let's go grab a zombie flesh and turn it into... I'm just going to grab 1. Cool. And we'll transmute this guy into leather real quick. Which can get me a book. So, Arcane and Source Leader. No, that's not what I want. Insightful Condenser. Sweet. And that's what's going to allow me to store experience, right? I can store it in the book itself as an item, or I can use it to craft this guy. But we want one of these. Quest complete. Thank you. And then we need 2 of you. And 1 more of these bad boys. And this guy, remember, is the one that'll collect experience in an area. So, like, mobs drop experience, this thing will pick up the orbs for us. Kinda cool. But I think with diamond spikes, they don't drop experience, right? If I put gold spikes over here, they would, though. Diamond allows them to drop their, you know, whatchamacallit drops. And gold lets them drop experience. But I don't think they can drop both. So for now, I'm going to put you away. And I guess I'm going to put the tarball on here, because you're technically a modded item, not a resource. But that should knock out collecting experience and devices, and that's cool. So obviously there's other quests in that line that are just thermal expansion related, right? Making the energy cells and the dynamos and crafting the fluids and all this other stuff. And that's just like crafting and boring stuff. So like I'm not going to do all those right now because that's all a heavy amount of crafting. So you need actually Additions Phantoms. So let's swing all the way back in time because Phantoms requires automatically manipulating blocks. which needs auto breakers, placers, precision draw. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna have to knock these quests out real fast on account of the fact that I didn't do them back in the day. So we're going to want the auto breakers and placers and whatnot, right? So auto breaker, you need all this stuff. And did I even like hang on to anything? Right, so let's get, I should have lots of black quartz. If not in here, then definitely over here. Yeah, that's what's up. And let's get like half of however much I have. Ow. Dire derps. Cool. So a quick 2 of these. And now you needed 1 void crystal for sure. That's your auto breaker. And then your auto placer needs Palus, which we also have some extra of. Now you want fluid, placer, and collectors, which is just 2 buckets around that guy. So I'll get 4 more just so I have the 2 extra when I'm done here. Done and done. Cool. An automatic precision dropper needs a regular dropper. One of these guys surrounded by gold nuggets. And then 2 Palus, right? Hooray! And I'm trying to remember if that was just like me derping on whether or not we needed those quests back then, or if that was just something different. But so we'll claim that. Like, was that a required quest when I went through the Extra Editions line and like I just missed it? I feel like that might have been it, and I said like we'll come back to it later. So now you want me to do all the phantom faces? Okay, cool. Let's just search for the word phantom, because that should pretty much cover us, right? So all the phantom faces, I'm probably gonna have to do some of that stuff going on. So we're gonna have to hook up our power lines. So let's get more advanced doohickeys. And then do you have, you do, sweet. And that gets me a bunch more advanced universal cabling. So the phantom breakers and placers require the unliquefied version of them, right? And you definitely need some empowered diamantine. So I'm going to ultimately need 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ugh. Okay. So I mean, we're going to definitely need, unless I'm mistaken, we don't have that much. We have 2 diamantine blocks, so now we just need to empower them, which is 2 clay. So I'm going to need 4 clay, 2 blocks of clay, and 2 light dye. Right? 2, 4, and then light blue dye, which I might have courtesy of something over here. We'll see. All right, that's just lapis, but we have blue orchids. Does that turn into light blue dye? It totally does. So that'll do. Nice. All right. So then you go here, 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 and here. And you guys are all going to need power, right? So let's make sure that that's a thing that you get. So this is your empower. And then you don't technically need to be there. And this should get you guys power. Courtesy of Endermen who shouldn't exist. And that should make your empowered diamantine blocks that we'll need for the phantom faces. I'm going to craft the rest of this off camera, and we'll be right back. Does that sound cool? All right, so phantom connector bit, right? That's cool. And then we're going to need phantom faces. That's going to need lots of ender pearls. Let's get like a bit more of that from over here. We'll get like 2 stacks. I don't think I need 2 stacks. I'll get 3 stacks. Three stacks, that sounds good. And we have as many ender pearls as I would expect, considering the propensity for endermen to spawn. But ultimately we're going to need, so the phantom placer needs a phantom face, phantom face, phantom face, phantom face, phantom face. So everything needs a phantom face. So we're going to need 6 phantom faces, right? Is that math correct? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In total, phantom faces. Technically, I guess I need 5, right? Because the first one that I make can go into everything else. So we're going to want 5 of these bad guys. Right? And we're going to want 5 of these bad guys. I feel like we're going to need a lot of redstone here. So let's just get like a stack of this stuff. And maybe you won't complain too much about not having power. Hooray. And we still have our black quartz on us? Yeah. Cool. So we're going to want 5 of these guys. And 5 of these guys. And 5 of these guys. Which leaves me with 5 of those guys. Cool. And then just cleaning up inventory a little bit because I got so much junk on me. So that should mark complete the phantom face piece, right? So then the phantom placer needs an auto placer, which means we need another one of these and another palus. The phantom liquid face needs these 2. These need to be empowered. So let's get 9 of them and empower it all at once. So your empowerment probably needs nether brick, redstone, and red dye. Let's put away all our metals for the time being, because I feel like we're not going to need so many of those for the immediate future. Maybe some iron. That's about it. And then clay. Redstone and a red dye. So you, redstone, brick. Cool. And that's all she wrote, right? All she wrote. I expected you to be done by now. There we go. So that's cool. So then I can break you up and say phantom face, phantom energy face. Sweet. So that should be mostly everything except the phantom breaker, which just needs an auto breaker, which needs another one of these. Cool. And with that, guys, I feel like it is a wrapping up point for the episode, right? Yeah, definitely wrapping up point, probably a little bit beyond. But that completes that. Yes? Yes. Which means we get to claim a loot chest. All the phantoms. And go into here for now. Zoinks. And these are all resources. Tool. Modded stuff, resources, modded stuff, all the good things. Cool. All right, so with that, we've knocked out the entire thermal machinery line, which means we now have access to Ender.io. I haven't played with Ender.io in 1.12 yet, so I'm looking forward to it. For now, Darryl20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Take it easy.